a new language model named Mistral Nemo, and their goal is to bring powerful AI capabilities directly to desktops. The model is designed to be efficient and accessible, making it possible to run advanced AI right on your local hardware. All right, now, Mistral Nemo has 12 billion parameters, which is relatively small compared to some of the massive models out there, but it boasts a 128,000 token context window, so it can process and understand much larger chunks of text at once, which is a great thing for tasks involving lengthy documents, complex analyses, or intricate coding. This extended context window could eliminate the need for frequent context refreshing, leading to more coherent and consistent outputs. Brian Catanzaro, NVIDIA's VP of Applied Deep Learning Research, talked about the model's benefits in an interview with VentureBeat. He highlighted that Mistral Nemo is being launched under the Apache 2.0 license. This means businesses can use it for commercial purposes without any licensing fees, making it an attractive option for companies looking to implement AI without hefty cloud service costs. What's really exciting about this collaboration between NVIDIA and Mistral AI is how it's aiming to democratize access to AI. NVIDIA, a giant in GPU manufacturing and AI hardware, and Mistral AI, an emerging player in the European AI market, are focusing on creating a compact but powerful model. Their goal is to make advanced AI more accessible even for smaller businesses. Catanzaro explained that smaller models like Mistral Nemo are much more accessible and easier to run. Businesses can operate these models on their existing systems, including RTX GPUs that many people already have. This makes it possible to leverage powerful AI capabilities without needing extensive and expensive setups. This launch comes at a crucial time in the AI industry, while much attention is given to massive models like OpenAI's GPT-4, Gemini 1.5 Pro, Claude 3 Opus, etc., which has hundreds of billions of parameters. There's a growing interest in more efficient models that can run locally. This shift is driven by several factors, including data privacy concerns, the need for lower latency, and the desire for more cost-effective AI solutions. The Mistral Nemo model's long context capabilities are particularly valuable. Businesses dealing with lengthy documents or complex analyses will benefit from its ability to handle large chunks of text without needing frequent context refreshing, which naturally leads to more coherent and consistent outputs, making the model highly efficient for practical use. For businesses operating in environments with limited internet connectivity or those with stringent data privacy requirements, Mistral Nemo could be a game changer. Catanzaro mentioned that the model is more suited for laptops and desktop PCs than smartphones, indicating that while it brings AI closer to individual business users, it's not quite ready for mobile deployment yet. Industry analysts suggest this release could disrupt the AI software market significantly. By offering a model that can run efficiently on local hardware, NVIDIA and Mistral AI address some of the main barriers to widespread AI adoption in businesses, such as data privacy, latency, and the high costs associated with cloud-based solutions. However, the true impact of this development will depend on how well the model performs in real-world applications and the ecosystem of tools and support that develop around it. The model is immediately available as a NVIDIA NIM inference microservice, with a downloadable version promised in the near future. The fact that it's released under the Apache 2.0 license means businesses can use it commercially, potentially speeding up its adoption in various enterprise settings. Catanzaro wrapped up the interview by saying they believe this model represents a significant step toward making AI more accessible and practical for businesses of all sizes. It's not just about the power of the model, but about putting that power directly into the hands of the people who can use it to drive innovation and efficiency in their daily operations. All right, now let's talk about some big news from Google AI Labs. Google has just introduced an exciting new AI video tool called Vids. Launched on July 15th to a select group of users, Vids promises to reduce video production costs and time significantly. Essentially, Vids is designed to streamline the entire video creation process, potentially revolutionizing content creation across various industries. It's powered by Google's Gemini AI and can produce videos up to 10 minutes long. It features AI-generated storyboards, customizable templates, and a royalty-free stock content library. Plus, it accepts various input formats, including Google Docs, slides, videos, and audio recordings. This versatility is what actually sets it apart from standard AI video generators. Suk Sohal, a senior consultant at Glue Affinity Reply, shared some insights with Pimps. He believes Google Vids can transform business communication by leveraging Google's vast ecosystem. This integration lowers the barrier to entry for creating professional quality videos, making it more accessible for users already familiar with Google's suite of products. The AI-driven capabilities of Google Vids enable users to produce visually engaging presentations, promoting storytelling excellence regardless of technical proficiency. As video becomes the preferred medium for strategic communication, Google Vids could significantly boost engagement and comprehension in business contexts. Google hasn't announced a date for Vids' global launch yet, leaving the industry to speculate on its broader impact. As the business world anticipates more comprehensive access to this tool, it's clear that Google's Vids signifies an advancement in integrating AI into business operations and content creation. All right, moving on, let's talk a bit about Google's involvement in the upcoming 2024 Paris Olympics. Google has secured the title of official AI sponsor for Team USA, and starting on July 26th, we'll see Google's AI-powered features prominently during the event. NBC Universal's partnership with Google will highlight many of the company's AI tools throughout the Olympics broadcast. Viewers can expect to see Google Maps 3D views of venues like Versailles, Stade Roland Garros, and the Aquatic Center. These immersive views, developed over the past few years, offer photorealistic models of certain landmarks and areas of interest, providing detailed information about the events occurring at each location. In addition to the 3D views, announcers and commentators will integrate Google Search AI overviews into broadcast segments, answering Olympic and Paralympic questions. This promotion aims to showcase the capabilities of Google's AI tools, but it also brings to mind past AI mishaps like the infamous pizza glue suggestion. Hopefully this time, everything will go smoothly. Comedian Leslie Jones will also get in on the action, using Gemini to learn new sports and engage in other scripted activities. Moreover, 5 Olympic and Paralympic athletes will appear in social videos and late-night promos utilizing Gemini, Google Lens, Circle to Search, and Google Maps Immersive View to explore Paris. These initiatives are part of Google's broader strategy to promote its AI technologies during the Olympics, reinforcing its brand presence and demonstrating the practical applications of its AI tools in real-world scenarios. All right, now finally some good news about AI's real-world impact. A UCLA study found that Unfold AI, developed by Avenda Health, can detect prostate cancer with 84% accuracy, beating doctors' 67%. This tool creates 3D cancer maps from patient data, helping physicians better understand and treat prostate cancer. It's a promising step forward in using AI to improve cancer diagnosis and care. Dr. Ali Kazrayan uses Unfold AI to determine the best treatment options for his patients, potentially reducing the need for invasive surgeries. Joshua Trachtenberg, a UCLA professor and prostate cancer patient, benefited from this technology, avoiding a major surgery and becoming cancer-free with a targeted treatment, while promising experts like Dr. Harvey Castro caution that AI should complement, not replace, doctors' expertise. Privacy and cost are also concerns. However, this technology offers hope for more accurate diagnoses and personalized treatments, potentially improving patients' quality of life. Let's talk about the insane pace of AI and robotics development lately. It's been moving fast, real fast, but what's happening in China right now is on a whole other level. They've created an AI robot that's unlike anything we've seen before. And trust me, when I first heard about this, my mind was blown. Let's cut to the chase.
Cut to the chase!
This isn't your average robot with a silicon brain. Nah, these mad scientists have gone and given it a brain made from actual living cells. You're not mishearing me. We're talking about a robot with a partially biological brain. They've crossed a line that many thought was uncrossable, redefining the very essence of artificial intelligence. Now, before you start picturing some kind of cyborg monstrosity, let me paint you a clearer picture. They're calling this thing a brain on a chip. Sounds pretty futuristic, right? Well, it kinda is. Instead of relying on traditional computer circuits, these researchers have grown teeny tiny brain cells in a lab and plopped them onto a microchip. With surgical precision, they've transplanted the essence of human cognition into the cold heart of a machine, kickstarting a whole new era of smart machines. But here's where it gets really trippy. Our brains, right? They're these complex networks of neurons all firing and connecting. Somehow, these absolute geniuses have managed to recreate that on this tiny chip. Now let's rewind a bit and talk about how they actually pulled this off. It all starts with stem cells, the superheroes of the cell world. These little guys can transform into pretty much any cell in your body. It's like cellular shape-shifting. So these scientists took these stem cells and essentially said, today you're gonna be brain cells, and somehow they actually managed to do it. They coaxed these cells into growing into this intricate network of brain cells, mimicking what you'd find in a human brain. Then, in a move that probably made every sci-fi writer jealous, they stuck this cellular brain onto a special microchip. And just like that, robot brain. Now you might be thinking this is cool and all, but why should we care? Well, let me tell you, this is a game changer. Most AI we deal with today is based on computer programs, right? It's all coded and pre-programmed, but this is a whole different ball game. This robot can actually learn and adapt like a living creature. It's not just following a set of instructions, it's experiencing things and changing based on what it learns. It's closer to how our brains work than any AI we've seen before.
It's beautiful.
You have to guess, what's it look like?
Like it's thinking.
The implications of this are huge. Just take a second to consider the possibilities. Think about how this could revolutionize our understanding of the brain itself.
Artificial intelligence.
By studying these lab-grown brain networks, we might uncover new ways to tackle neurological diseases like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. It's not just cool science, it's potentially life-changing stuff. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This tech, as amazing as it is, also opens up a whole can of worms when it comes to ethics. We're entering uncharted territory here. At what point does a robot with a living brain become, well, alive? It's not just a philosophical question anymore. It's something we might actually have to grapple with in the near future. Now, I can almost hear some of you freaking out. Skynet, anyone? Are we on the brink of a robot uprising? Relax, we're not quite there yet. This is still early days, and there's a lot of work to be done before we see this tech out in the wild. But it does mean we need to start having serious conversations about the implications of this technology. The thing is, this isn't just about creating smarter machines. It's about blurring the lines between artificial and biological intelligence. We're talking about a future where the boundaries between AI and biotechnology start to disappear. It's exciting, it's a little scary, and it's definitely going to change the world as we know it. But here's the thing, with all this potential comes a huge responsibility.
Are you afraid that I'm going to turn into some kind of criminal? Quit worrying about me, okay?
We're not just talking about technological advancement here, we're talking about potentially redefining what it means to be alive, to be conscious. These are big, heavy concepts that we as a society need to wrestle with. But that's the nature of progress, isn't it? It pushes us out of our comfort zones, forces us to confront new realities, and while it can be daunting, it's also incredibly exciting. Now, interestingly, Jeff Bezos and SoftBank have invested a staggering $300 million in a startup called Skilled AI. Now, it seems these folks aren't going for the whole lab-grown human cells brain in a robot thing. Instead, they're aiming to build a full-on artificial brain from the ground up. They say they're pioneering what they call a robot brain, which is about crafting a general-purpose AI brain that can be installed in any robot, making it capable of performing complex and varied tasks without needing specific programming for each task. Skilled AI, led by some brilliant minds from Carnegie Mellon, envisions a future where robots can handle adverse physical conditions or perform dexterous manipulations in industrial and household environments. They're pushing the envelope towards developing artificial general intelligence, or AGI, which aims to achieve human-like intelligence in robots. Now, there's actually another breakthrough in robotics, maybe not as crazy as human brains in robots, but still pretty wild. An Indian company's just jumped into the robot game, and they're not messing around. So Zen Technologies and their partner AI Turing Technologies have cooked up this four-legged robot. They're calling it Prahasta, which is apparently some badass warrior from Hindu mythology. And let me tell you, this thing's no joke. Picture this. A robot dog, but instead of fetching your slippers, it's carrying an assault rifle. Yeah, this isn't Boston Dynamics parkour bot. This thing's built for defense. Now, Prahasta's got some seriously cool tech under the hood. It uses something called LiDAR, which is like radar but with lasers to scan its surroundings. And it's got AI that helps it understand the terrain and plan missions. These guys released a video showing off what Prahasta can do, and it's pretty impressive. This robot's climbing stairs like it's nothing with a gun strapped to its back. It's hopping over obstacles and gaps like some kind of mechanical gazelle. And get this, they say it can even pick up a fully grown adult. I'm talking about a robot dog that can fireman carry a 180-pound person, which could be potentially life-saving in dangerous situations. If this robot gets knocked over, it can get right back up on its own. They're calling it auto-resurrection, which sounds pretty dramatic, but when you see it in action, it's hard not to be impressed. Now, they've also unveiled Barbaric URCWS. It's basically a remote-controlled weapon station that they're claiming is the lightest in the world, and it's not just for land. They're saying it can be used on ships, too. The folks at Zen are pretty hyped about all this. Their big boss, Ashok Atluri, is talking about how these robots are going to change the game for defense operations. He thinks this is going to make people sit up and take notice of how important robotics could be in combat and recon missions. It's worth noting that Zen's not new to this game. They've been in the defense tech business for a while, making things like anti-drone systems and combat simulators. In fact, they've shipped out over 1,000 simulators and training systems worldwide. So, what does all this mean? Well, we're looking at a future where robots aren't just in factories or delivering packages. We're talking about robots that could be on the front lines. But of course, just like with the brain chip robots, this raises some big questions. How much autonomy should we give to armed robots? What are the ethical implications of using AI in defense? These are heavy topics we're going to have to wrestle with, from launching a new AI model to working on custom AI chips and even focusing on AI safety. There's a ton to cover, so let's get started. All right, first up, OpenAI has just launched a brand new model called GPT-4o Mini. This model is lighter and cheaper, making it super accessible for developers who maybe don't have the budget to play around with the more expensive, full-sized models. Now, if you've been keeping up with AI, you'll know that building apps using OpenAI's models can really add up in cost. Smaller developers often get priced out and have to look for cheaper alternatives like Google's Gemini 1.5 Flash or Anthropic's Claude 3 Haiku. But with GPT-4o Mini, OpenAI is stepping into the game of light models to make AI more affordable. Olivier Godemont, who leads the API platform product at OpenAI, said this model really aligns with OpenAI's mission of making AI more accessible. The idea is that if we want AI to benefit everyone, it has to be affordable. And guess what? Starting today, ChatGPT users on free, plus, and team plans can switch to GPT-4o Mini instead of GPT 3.5 Turbo. Enterprise users will get access next week. This means GPT 3.5 won't be an option for ChatGPT users anymore, but developers can still use it via the API, at least for now. Eventually, GPT 3.5 will be retired from the API as well, but there's no set date yet. Godement thinks GPT-4o Mini is going to be very popular, and honestly, it makes sense. This model supports text and vision in the API, and soon it'll handle all kinds of multimodal inputs and outputs like video and audio. The new model is quite capable too. It scored 82% on the Measuring Massive Multitask Language Understanding (MMLU) benchmark, which is pretty impressive. To give you some context, GPT 3.5 scored 70%, and GPT-4o scored 88.7%. Google's Gemini Ultra holds the highest score at 90%, while Claude 3, Haiku, and Gemini 1.5 Flash scored 75.2% and 78.9% respectively. But, you know, benchmarks can be a bit tricky since the way they're administered can vary slightly from company to company. Plus, there's always the concern of AI models having these answers in their dataset, which could skew the results. Developers are already putting GPT-4o Mini to the test. For instance, a financial technology startup called Ramp used it to build a tool that extracts expense data from receipts. Instead of manually inputting data, users can now just upload a picture of their receipt and let the model do the work. Another company, Superhuman, tested the model to create an auto-suggestion feature for email responses. These examples show how a lighter, cheaper model can open up new possibilities for applications that developers couldn't afford to build with larger, more expensive models like GPT-4. So, why did it take OpenAI so long to release a lighter model? According to Godement, it was all about prioritization. OpenAI was focused on creating bigger and better models like GPT-4, which took a lot of effort and resources, but as they noticed a trend of developers eager to use smaller models, they decided it was time to invest in something like GPT-4o Mini. And it looks like it's going to be a hit, both with existing apps that already use OpenAI's AI and new ones that were previously priced out. All right, moving on to our next topic. OpenAI is reportedly in talks with chip designers, including Broadcom, to develop a new AI server chip. This initiative is being led by OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman, and is part of a larger plan to boost the company's computing power for AI development. The shortage of graphics processing units, GPUs currently used for developing AI models, most of which come from NVIDIA, has been a big issue. So developing a custom AI chip could be a game changer. OpenAI has even been hiring former Google employees who were involved in developing Google's Tensor Processing Unit, TPU, an AI accelerator, to help with this effort. Broadcom, which worked with Google on the TPU, has the experience needed to build custom AI-related chips, making this partnership pretty exciting. While OpenAI hasn't confirmed all the details, a spokesperson did say they are having ongoing conversations with industry and government stakeholders about increasing access to the necessary infrastructure to ensure AI's benefits are widely accessible. This move to develop its own AI chips isn't entirely new. Back in September, there were reports that OpenAI was looking into this. Earlier this year, Altman had talks with SoftBank and Abu Dhabi-based G42 to raise billions for a new chip manufacturing venture. At one point, the amount they were looking to raise reportedly reached a staggering $7 trillion, which is more than the economies of Australia and Japan combined. While that figure might have been a bit too ambitious, partnering with a company like Broadcom seems far more practical and cost-effective. The main target here is obviously NVIDIA. NVIDIA has dominated the AI chip market with an estimated market share of 70% to 95%. This dominance means AI companies are heavily reliant on NVIDIA for computing power. By developing its own chips or partnering with Broadcom, OpenAI could reduce this dependency and have more control over its AI processing needs. It's also worth noting that NVIDIA's rise has been nothing short of remarkable. At one point, it was the most valuable company in the world, and even now, it's still up there among the giants like Microsoft and Apple. As AI has grown, so has NVIDIA. But having one company dominate the AI chip market isn't ideal for anyone except NVIDIA. So OpenAI building its own chips or partnering with Broadcom could shake things up a bit and create more competition in the market. All right, now, OpenAI has been under a lot of scrutiny lately for its rapid pace of AI development. Critics have suggested the company might be moving too fast and recklessly. In response, the company has been showcasing some new safety research to demonstrate that it takes AI safety seriously. One of the new techniques involves having two AI models engage in a conversation that forces the more powerful one to be more transparent with its reasoning. This is meant to make the AI's thought process more legible to humans. For instance, they tested this with an AI model designed to solve simple math problems. The model was asked to explain its reasoning as it solved problems, and a second model was trained to detect whether the answers were correct. This back and forth encouraged the math-solving model to be more forthright and transparent. OpenAI has published a paper detailing this approach, hoping that other researchers will follow up and try other algorithms. Transparency and explainability are major concerns for AI researchers, especially as models become more powerful. There's a fear that future models might become more opaque or even deceptive in their explanations, which could be dangerous. This research is part of a broader effort to understand how large language models work and to make them safer. OpenAI and other companies are also exploring more mechanistic ways of peering inside these models. However, there has been criticism that this work, while important, is incremental and doesn't address the need for more oversight of companies building these technologies. For instance, in May, it was reported that OpenAI disbanded a team dedicated to studying long-term AI risks, and shortly after, co-founder Ilya Sutskever, who was a key technical leader, left the company. This has led some to question whether OpenAI is prioritizing safety or if it's more focused on market dominance. Daniel Kokotajlo, a researcher who left OpenAI and signed an open letter criticizing the company's approach to AI safety, mentioned that the new work is important but doesn't change the fact that AI companies need more oversight. Another source with knowledge of OpenAI's inner workings echoed this sentiment, stating that the question is whether the company is serious about the processes and governance mechanisms needed to prioritize societal benefit over profit. Did you know that the computing power used to train large AI models has been doubling roughly every 3.4 months since 2012, that's a pace that would make Moore's Law blush. With OpenAI's move to develop custom AI chips, we might see this trend accelerate even further. But here's an intriguing tidbit. Despite the AI boom, only about 1% of companies are using AI in a way that significantly boosts their revenue. This gap between AI's potential and its real-world impact is where a lot of opportunities lie. The next big AI breakthrough could be just around the corner. As we watch OpenAI navigate the balance between innovation and safety, it's worth noting that the field of AI ethics is growing just as rapidly. In fact, the number of peer-reviewed papers on AI ethics has increased by over 600% in the last 5 years.